Greetings and welcome to my presentation for LCTA Task 12 for Western Governors University. This presentation will be on server consolidation and virtualization. While the economic downturn continues to stifle business potential, entrepreneurs should consider server consolidation and next-generation technology a viable solution for increasing their return on investment. Significant reductions in hardware costs can be achieved by consolidating a server environment with virtualization software, freeing up IT budgets that may be better spent on acquiring talented staff or on R&D projects. As many of the common hypervisors are free, they are very easy to evaluate while introducing no real risk. Additionally, virtualized data centers are more easily maintained through centralized administration consoles. Taking into consideration each of the benefits and cost savings, an increased return on investment is easily achievable. Server virtualization is quickly becoming a standard part of maintaining an IT infrastructure. As you can see in this chart that shows the average physical server loads, I have a standard server, non-virtualized, and a virtualized example here. The green is the used or utilized load, and the red is the unused resources. Most physical servers only utilize a small portion of their available memory, and aside from an occasional spike, a fraction of the available processor utilization. This is effectively wasting money by assigning the unused resources to a single server. When a physical server is hosting multiple VMs, as in this example here, the resources are utilized much more efficiently. Logically, the more physical servers that are consolidated in this manner, the higher the amount of previously unused resources are utilized, while reducing the costs associated with purchasing new server hardware.
I have a question.
Yes.
How can consolidating servers reduce my operating costs?
If a data center is consolidated, there will be fewer servers running, which will reduce the amount of electricity consumed by the smaller number of servers, and less hot exhaust air to cool, both of which are major expenses for the average data center. In one case study showcasing VMware software, one company called E.ON US, an energy company in Kentucky, was able to consolidate half of their server environment from 300 servers down to 40. This saved them $1.3 million in hardware costs, $440,000 in annual operating and maintenance costs, and roughly $72,000 in electricity every year. Using VMware software also cut their server deployment time from 2 weeks to less than an hour. With the hardware costs becoming a smaller part of the IT budget, it frees up the budget to be used on more productive expenses, like hiring talented staff or additional staff members dedicated to development projects. These alternative uses for the IT budget can increase productivity or help develop more profitable services. Additionally, server hardware that would have been required for development and testing purposes can now be provisioned on the fly, as they are needed without having to go through what would be a lengthy and time-consuming requisition process. This quick turnaround gives developers the resources they require in a much shorter time span, which increases productivity by reducing development lag time. Also, with fewer physical servers, fewer data center personnel are required to maintain them, which can significantly impact IT budgets.
I have a question.
Yes.
How can all this be accomplished using my existing server infrastructure?
The software responsible for creating a virtual environment within which virtual servers can be created is called a hypervisor. This software is usually a lightweight Linux-based operating system that communicates with the physical resources, memory, CPU, disk drives, and any other hardware on behalf of the VMs. The hypervisor presents the resources to the VMs in such a way that the guest operating system believes that they are interacting with the hardware directly. The hypervisors can also allow more physical resources to be assigned to the VMs than actually exist on the physical server. If a server is equipped with 2 processors, for example, CPU overcommitment enables the server to host more than 2 VMs, each believing it has a full processor installed. As long as the combined virtual processor utilization rate is kept at less than 100% of the physical processor maximum, the VMs continue to function normally without much, if any, degradation in performance. Caution and proper planning must be used when overcommitting resources to prevent a server failure if VMs are attempting to use more resources than are available. Generally, resource utilization should be kept around 50% of available physical resources for production VMs. This will also allow for the VMs to be temporarily hosted on other physical servers if the cluster were to fail. Memory overcommitment, however, is not supported on all hypervisors. VMware's vSphere 4 allows for both memory and CPU overcommitment, but Microsoft's Hyper-V 2008 R2 and Citrix's Zen Desktop 5.5 do not. The administration of a virtualized server environment is often accomplished by using a centralized management server, often a VM itself. The server runs management software which controls much of the high availability and disaster recovery functionality of the environment. The management console is accessible from remote workstations which have the associated client software. The management console also provides direct access to the VMs, much like a KVM switch that is connected to the keyboard, video, and monitor jacks on physical servers. This allows the servers to be operated in a lights-out environment, meaning that the server room need not be lit or even accessible by the IT staff that maintains the virtual environment. The virtual consoles also allow remote connectivity to resources on the client workstations, which can be used to connect a CD or DVD to a remote server for application installation. Overall, the benefits provided by server consolidation can increase a company's return on investment easily, as seen at Eon. Underutilized servers can be repurposed to host multiple virtual servers, decreasing the demand for future server purchases. Fewer physical servers to support can often lead to fewer personnel needed to maintain them. Server consolidation will ultimately reduce the number of servers to power and provide cooling for, which can significantly reduce the operating costs and carbon footprint. In addition to these direct reductions in cost, several indirect benefits are realized that can increase profitability. Indirect benefits include more efficient use of the IT budget by hiring more talented personnel or additional employees with more profitable skill sets than server maintenance. Also, the decreased lag time to provision development servers produces downtime during which developers may not be as productive. In conclusion, if you are planning on expanding your IT department, it would be in your best interest to consider server consolidation by virtualizing your data center. Benefits can be realized immediately and increase as more servers become consolidated. A virtualized data center has less impact on our environment and is more efficient use of a shrinking IT budget. Thank you for listening to my presentation.